Most men pursue pleasure with such breathless haste that they hurry past it. Don't forget to love yourself. Purity of heart is to will one thing. The most painful state of being is remembering the future, particularly one you'll never have. What is a poet? An unhappy person who conceals profound anguish in his heart, but whose lips are so formed that he sighs and cries pass over them, they sound like beautiful music. It belongs to the imperfection of everything human that man can only attain his desire by passing through the opposite. Since my earliest childhood, a barb of sorrow has lodged in my heart. As long as it stays, I am ironic. If it is pulled out, I shall die. In addition to my other numerous acquaintances, I have one more intimate confidant. My depression is the most faithful mistress I've known. No wonder, then, that I return the love. Anxiety is the dizziness of freedom. The function of prayer is not to influence God, but rather to change the nature of the one who prays. God creates out of nothing. Wonderful, you say. Yes, to be sure, but he does what is still more wonderful. He makes saints out of sinners. If I'm capable of grasping God objectively, I do not believe. But precisely because I cannot do this, I must believe. It is hard to believe because it is hard to obey. Faith is the highest passion in a human being. Many in every generation may not come that far, but none comes further. Our life always expresses the result of our dominant thoughts. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true. The highest and most beautiful thing in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen about, if one will, are to be lived. Life has its own hidden forces which you can only discover by living. There are, as is known, insects that die in the moment of fertilization. So it is with all joy, life's highest, most splendid moment of enjoyment is accomplished by death. The more a man can forget, the greater the number of metamorphoses which his life can undergo. The more he can remember, the more divine his life becomes. Old age realizes the dreams of the youth. Look at Dean Swift. In his youth, he built an asylum for the insane. In his old age, he himself was an inmate. Once can advise comfortably from a safe port. Trouble is the common denominator of the living. It is the great equalizer. The truth is snare. You cannot have it without being caught. You cannot have the truth in such a way that you can catch it, but only in such a way that it catches you. There is nothing with which every man is so afraid at getting to know how enormously much he is capable of doing and becoming. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. During the first period of a man's life, the greatest danger is not to take the risk. It is essential in relationships and all tasks that we concentrate only on what is most significant and important. If anyone on the verge of action should jump himself according to the outcome, he would never begin. Once you label me, you negate me. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself. Personality is only ripe when a man has made the truth his own. I feel as if I were a piece in a game of chess when my opponent says of it, that piece cannot be moved. Far from idleness being the root of all evil, it is rather the only true good. The tyrant dies and his rule is over. The martyr dies and his rule begins. At the bottom of eternity between strangers lies indifferences. How absurd men are. They never use the liberties they have. They demand those they do not have. They have freedom of thought. They demand freedom of speech. To cheat oneself out of love is the most terrible deception. It is an eternal loss for which there is no reparations, either in time or in eternity. Face the facts of being what you are, for that is what changes what you are. To venture causes anxiety, and not to venture is to lose oneself, and to venture in the highest is precisely to be considered of oneself. To dare is to lose one's footing momentarily. Not to dare is to lose oneself. It is better to try something and fail than to try nothing and succeed. The results may be the same, but you won't be. We always grow more through defeats than victories.